everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, January 9th, 2022. My hot new couple pick for 2022 is Tracy and Adam. Hot new couple of 2022. I mean, did you see the sparks flying between them? It was all they could do to keep their hands off of each other. I could tell. All they wanted to do was run upstairs to one of those Grand Phoenix hotel rooms and rip each other's clothes off. Wouldn't that have been an unexpected twist? It could happen. Tracy is sexy and alluring in her own way, and younger men cannot resist her. Adam would be helpless against her powers of seduction. I mean, Y&R wanted to tell that story with Kane, and they pulled out for one reason or another, but maybe since things are kind of looking rocky for Adam with both Sally and Chelsea, maybe Adam will turn to Tracy. I could just see it, but it's such an odd pairing that I could see it. Like both of them not believing that this could be happening, but then it is. I love it, because then Billy could go insane knowing that Adam is going to become his brother-in-law. Oh, that would be some good stuff. Oh, I am so proud of Billy this week. I'm so proud of him. And I'm just so relieved. Like, the bad boy ruse had some fun moments, but I did not feel excited by the fact that it could go on for another 6 weeks or so. I just didn't think it really had the longevity. And I'm thinking maybe the writers felt that way too, maybe realized it wasn't fully working. So they really turned on their heels this week and went in another direction. They decided to have Billy pull the plug on the ruse himself. He just exposed himself, and now the script has kind of flipped, and the fog of revenge almost seems to be settling around Adam? I don't know. Was it anticlimactic? Was it good? I thought it was good. Billy got fed up with the whole thing. He busted Sally red-handed in her blonde wig and sunglasses at the bar. He dragged her into the principal's office, Adam's office, and Billy proceeded to present his apple juice receipts. He had the receipts, you guys. Line item after line item, apple juice. Billy tossed those apple juice receipts right onto Adam's desk and let Adam know that he could have had him. Even though, honestly, there's still no guarantee that Adam would have ever published an expose on Billy, even if this had continued on for another 6 weeks. But, okay, Billy got to have his moment in the sun. I'll take it. Billy tells Adam, I could have taken you down, and that's gonna haunt you more than if I actually did it. And I guess that's true, apparently. Billy's words seem to be haunting Adam right now. Adam is brooding over it all right now. And he sent Lily this weird, out-of-the-blue text message wishing her the best at Chancellor Industries, which makes me think that Adam is now going to be the one who's on the war path. Makes me think that Adam is coming for them. Who knows? Maybe he's going to be coming for Lily specifically. I mean, double who knows? Maybe Adam is going to try to steal Lily away from Billy. It's all too neat. It's all too clean. But there is one thing that does bother me about this, I have to say. It does feel like a very abrupt storyline shift. And I kind of think that Billy has always made the mistake of thinking that Adam hates him as much as he hates Adam. Honestly, I don't think that Billy has ever quite registered on Adam's radar the way that he thinks he does. But that doesn't mean that the writers aren't going to write it to be so. What was it that Faith said this week about Adam? He's either a good guy who does horrible things, or he's a horrible guy who does good things. I mean, that sounds like some real ominous foreshadowing. Are we going to see the return of Dark Adam for 2022? After Billy revealed his whole plan to Adam, he sashayed on over to Victoria's office to let her know that he's making the decisions here. He's not just going to go along with whatever plan she decides is right for him. When it comes to his life and his revenge plots, he's in charge. But Billy did not tell Adam that Victoria was plotting a takeover of Newman Media, and Victoria wasn't all that gracious about that fact. I mean, Billy could have blown up her plan too, but he didn't. And instead of just wishing Billy well, you know, I mean, he's the father of her children. He's a man who she once loved deeply. She, instead of, I don't know, supporting him, she just berated him and started acting like he's a loser for choosing not to play in the big leagues like her and Ashland. What a cold fish. Billy even said, "Hey, I hate to say it, but the way you're acting, your father would be proud of you." Burn! Yeah. Burn. I don't know what's up with Victoria. She's turned into evil Victoria now. Even Tracy was disappointed in Victoria, which should be enough to make Victoria take a second look at her life. I mean, Tracy gave Victoria a warning over the whole thing. A warning, you guys! Tracy Abbott doesn't usually give warnings. I thought that was awesome. Tracy was thinking that Victoria was just using Billy, and Tracy warned Victoria that if Billy were to get hurt in any of this, it would be on Victoria's conscience. I mean, you know, I loved that. I just love seeing Tracy in any scenes. But at the same time, her beef should have been with Billy. She never should have gone to Victoria. She should have just talked to Billy and Billy alone. Billy was always the one who had the power to stop this. And he did. I appreciated that Billy stopped it. I appreciated that Billy also had a follow-up with Tracy. He reassured Tracy that he was on the right path now. He did get a little snippy with her that I didn't appreciate. I mean, I can definitely see Billy being irritated that his sister went and talked to his ex-wife. Yeah, okay, he's got a reason to be a little irritated, but at the same time, it's Tracy, so lighten up. And of course, I cried when Tracy and Lily started talking about Colleen. Gosh, it's kind of the same as it is with Cassie for me. Like, when I think about Colleen's death and I think about Tracy's pain having lost a daughter, I cry in the same way that I cry when I think about Nick and Sharon losing Cassie. And Colleen and Lily were best friends. They were the same age. Tracy said she always kind of thinks about where Colleen would be at this stage in her life every time, as she sees Lily continue to grow. Because Lily has so much going for her right now. She is starting this new job as CEO of Chancellor Industries soon. And so Lily doesn't need the hassle of this complicated revenge plot hanging over her head when she's trying to start something new and good. Lily had become openly opposed to Billy's whole plan as soon as Victoria got involved and started gaining control. And Billy surprised us and surprised Lily by announcing that he was putting the whole thing to bed and that he wants to instead go to work with her at Chancellor. Yay! Yay! Billy chose his relationship with Lily. He chose his own self-respect, and he chose it over the alternative, which was just endless warfare. I am so happy with Billy this week, and how often do I get to say that? No New Year's Eve kisses for Adam. No, no, no. No kisses for Adam. Ray got New Year's Eve kisses. Devon got New Year's Eve kisses. Chance got New Year's Eve kisses. But Adam's not allowed to have kisses. Not even one kiss. What is up with that? Does Sharon Case have it in her contract that her man is not allowed to kiss anybody but her? That must be it. Gosh, it doesn't seem like Adam's gonna get a chance to be kissing anybody anytime soon. He was not pleased that Sally got busted by Billy, and that put the stomp down on the one little shred of hope that Adam might actually have something to celebrate this new year. Oh, yeah, I thought that Sally hanging up every decoration for every holiday other than New Year's, and every holiday other than every decoration for every holiday except for the holiday that it actually was. I just thought, oh, this is an adorable setup for at least one little smooch, and the whole thing was foreplay. I mean, the whole thing was this acknowledged excuse to be together without calling it a date. They could have at least capped it off with a kiss, or if not a kiss, at least a little snuggle or something. A little snuggy-uggy-uggle with the door open. With the boss's office door wide open for anyone to come through and see. Like Chelsea. Chelsea got an eyeful of all that nothing. Oh. After Adam had just come from the penthouse rejecting Chelsea's plea to get back together, he goes to his office. He gets a call that he didn't know was going to be a date to go to his office to be with Sally. And then Chelsea, I guess, just so happened to decide to go to the office around midnight. And she saw Adam and Sally close together on the couch watching a Hitchcock movie on the small laptop screen. Have to be close because it's a small laptop screen. So they're just watching the movie real close, eating caviar, drinking vodka. Sounds delicious. Caviar and vodka breath. Let's get personal. Sounds romantic to me. Oh. Well, Chelsea turned around, left, and I guess probably started working on that plan B to get Connor to ask her to move into the ranch, to somehow nudge Connor in the direction of asking her to move into the ranch so that, she could then be seen comforting Connor. I don't think Chelsea ever thought that was going to happen, but I think she was happy to be seen comforting Connor and to be seen telling Connor that, oh no, we still love you, but your dad and I are not getting back together. Oh no, I'm over Adam. I'm moving on. All I care about now is our son. And our son is gonna need you a lot now, Adam. He's gonna need to be taking up all of your spare time now, Adam. You won't have any more time for office dates with Sally. Side note, I do think it's super rude that Sally put up all those decorations and then left without taking them all down. She put all that work into decorating and then just left it all there. Made Adam clean it up, I guess. But then after that, anybody and everybody who walked through his office could clearly see what had happened there. Gee, that's weird. The boss has all these decorations over his office. Everybody knew what had happened, including Chloe, who now can officially add Adam to her nag list. Chloe's nag list always contained Chelsea. Chelsea was always on the nag list. But then she recently added Sally, and now she's adding Adam to the mix. So it's like the title is Chloe's Nags List. Number 1, Chelsea. Number 2, Sally. Number 3, Adam. Oh, and this week, Chloe definitely got more fierce, more aggressive about it all. Well, with Sally specifically. Chloe realizes she's only got one power move she can make in this situation. There's only one of these people who she actually has any true power over, and it's Sally. Chloe put Sally on notice. She said to her, Chelsea is my best friend, so you best understand that. You are my employee, so fix it with Chelsea. Stop seeing Adam or else. So Sally put her tail between her legs, which I didn't like. Sally kind of bowed down to Chelsea's power, both professionally and personally, and also lied to Chelsea, saying that she's not going after Adam. We all know that's not true. Sally stood there and told Chelsea, I'm not going after Adam. Okay, lies. I guess what Sally meant to say was Adam isn't going after her. And Chloe threatened her job over it all. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. I think in reality, Chloe is right to be concerned about all of this blowing up into a big, messy debacle that pulls focus away from work, pulls focus away from the fashion platform that they are trying to make a success. But, at the end of the day, a big, messy debacle is what the viewers want, Chloe. So butt out. Some uptight executive at Genoa City Memorial Hospital doesn't like the chief of surgery, Nate Hastings, bringing an underling like Elena to a fundraiser as his date. Well, boo-hoo! Boo-hoo! How dare the world put a squash on Nate and Elena's office dating. Office dating is a staple of soaps. If we are not having sex on a desk, then what are we doing here? What are we even doing here? It's just funny to me to think about all of the office romances and desk sex we've had all over the years. And yet, here are two emerging situations in the same week where our characters are being told that it's not okay to date within the office, date within your job, to date a co-worker or a fellow employee, or in some cases, someone who reports to you. So I thought, well, let's do a little bit of an offbeat poll question this week. If office dating is a staple of soaps, and we all know that we kind of have to accept that. That's sort of the conceit of it. You know, office dating, office sex, all of that is so totally part of the show. But do you think it's okay in real life? Is this just something that's only okay on soaps? Or do you think that it's also okay in real life? Because I suppose it's one thing when the two positions are unrelated. The people don't necessarily work with or around or under or above each other. But when there is a power imbalance between the two lovers, maybe that's a different story. Sally and Elena are both kind of dating or trying to date the boss. If this were real life, what would you think about that? I mean, YRChat.com. Let's just do a little bit of an offbeat poll. Let me know what you think about office dating in real life versus on soaps. I mean, imagine that you are both the boss and the employee. Like you're the boss and you're kind of dating someone who reports to you, versus you're the employee and you've got your eyes on the boss, versus what if you were just watching this whole thing go down and you were a third party and you were seeing two people, maybe a boss and an employee, getting it on? What would you think about that? YRChat.com. Cast your vote. And if you have any specific juicy little personal stories you'd like to add there, I'd love to read them. I don't know, maybe the Sally and Adam thing seems to have fizzled out. But the Nate and Elena part has been going on for a month now. I mean, we've been laying the seeds of that for a while, of Elena being nervous about what people would think about her dating the boss. And Y&R's been stretching that out storyline-wise. Maybe it will eventually become moot and we'll never talk about it again, especially not if Imani has anything to say about it. I don't know why, but Imani absolutely kills me the way that she has to fawn over whatever Nate is wearing every time she sees him. This isn't the first time she's been like, ooh, that's your color. It's actually the second time she's done that. And it's just, it gets me because it's like me. I mean, I feel like I understand where she's coming from. It's like Imani is just so overwhelmed with Nate's sex appeal that every time she sees him, she practically overflows. Uh-huh, I can relate. But Elena let Imani know that is not going to be happening. They are picking out rugs for their home that they are now sharing together. So Imani is just going to have to go out and find some other hunky doctor to fawn over. Or will she? Every time I count out Ray and Sharon, which is practically every week for the last year or more, they pull me back in. I just thought that Sharon looked outstanding in her New Year's Eve splashy coral dress with the puffy sleeves. And Ray looked so dapper in his tuxedo. And it was so appropriate because they were celebrating their 1-year anniversary by eating 1-year-old cake. I like that little tradition, though. And it was funny to watch them take a bite of the cake and be like, this tastes like our freezer. That's so relatable. My freezer tastes like freezer, too. I'm just like them. Oh. Ray and Sharon are so great together. It's just that there's not enough of them being together to make me believe in them more regularly. But if we got scenes like this more often, I think I would believe in it. I really liked that Chelsea crashed their New Year's Eve date because she didn't crash it. I liked that she crashed it because she didn't try to crash it. She was invited, and she also left when she could see that they were longing to get lovey-dovey and to have this intimate moment, and Chelsea didn't want to spoil their romance, even though her love life is in the pits. She didn't want to do that to them. She accepted their invitation. She was friendly with them, but she then backed away and gave them their space. I thought that was very thoughtful of Chelsea, and maybe that will be the tone with which she will break up Sharon and Ray. Like, oops, I didn't mean to come in between you two. I really, really didn't. I mean, I couldn't help but notice Chelsea went out of her way to tell Ray what a good guy he is. And also couldn't help but notice Chelsea's run-in with Noah, Sharon and Nick's son. Okay. Chelsea and Noah have had a couple of scenes together now. This week was a lot more close. They had a lot more time to talk. They know that they are going to be tracking the same halls together at Newman Media, being friendly, maybe more. I don't know about you, but I could totally see Chelsea trying to date Noah to make Adam jealous. And who knows, maybe she would fall in love with Noah in the process, but I could totally also see Nick and Sharon having all kinds of skepticism about their baby boy dating a screw loose. Nick and Sharon on the same team thinking Noah shouldn't be getting involved with Chelsea, and then meanwhile over in the corner, Ray is quietly waving, defending Chelsea, saying that Chelsea has changed. She's trying to be a better woman. She's just not that person anymore. Yep. Sharon and Nick versus Ray on the topic of Chelsea and Noah getting together. Now that could be the ticket to the Chic Reunion 2022. Am I right? I feel like Moses and Faith's Christmas gift story got bumped from the Christmas show and then moved to New Year's week. Maybe it wasn't exciting enough for the writers, I'm not sure, because we were promised a gift exchange, and then come to find out it just happened off screen. Wow! Faith bought Moses the perfect blue sweater. It was adorable. And so he's going to have to get her a bonus gift to match all the awesomeness of the blue sweater. A book just doesn't stand up against an awesome blue sweater like that. So Moses had to go out and, with Elena's help, find Faith a piece of jewelry. But it wasn't just any piece of jewelry. It was a charm bracelet with little chest pieces on it. I loved that. I thought that was a very thoughtful way to take us back to where Faith and Moses met, which was when Faith was in the hospital after receiving her kidney transplant, and Moses was keeping her company. They were playing chess to save the time, or to pass the time. Yeah, it's interesting though. I also kind of think that was strategic on the writer's part. I think Y&R wanted to remind us of Faith being in the hospital because of why she was there. Moses saw Adam come to the coffee house, and he made sure to remind us viewers that it was Adam who donated the kidney to Faith and saved her life. And again, I just keep coming back to Faith's commentary on Adam saying, well, he could be a good person who does horrible things. He could be a horrible person who does good things. I don't know which. That just seems so telling. Moses and Faith are adorable. What was up with Noah during those scenes, though? Noah was on the back patio with Elena watching the Faith and Moses gift exchange, and Noah was being kind of pessimistic. He was being, I don't know, a downer, and he was saying to Elena about how, well, it's nice to see them being cute, but, you know, young love never lasts. I don't know, I just wasn't feeling his being pessimistic all over the magic moment. Like, hey, buddy, don't bring around a cloud to rain on this parade. If you're so lovelorn, then how about you do something about it? There's plenty of single women in this town. Just pick one and go. Before we get into this baby drama, can I just say, Amanda looks amazing in white. It is her color. She just pulls off the most simple white outfit so elegantly, and the white dress that she had on with the puffy sleeves on New Year's Eve, I was just fanning myself at how beautiful she looked. And again, I have to say, I think the new trend for 2022 are these puffy sleeves. Sharon was coral with a big puffy sleeve, and Amanda was white, big puffy sleeve. I'm telling you, look out for that trend. It's coming. All of 2022 is going to be puffy sleeves. I also liked Faith's blouse that was black and it had like the lace neck on it. I would wear that, absolutely. Ooh, we got some good fashion on the show right now. But that's not why you guys came here. You want to talk about this drama. And Amanda, as beautiful as she looked on New Year's Eve, was still pushing Devon, even in the midst of the romance. Amanda continued to reinforce Devon's role as Dominic's father. All week long, even on New Year's Eve, Amanda was telling Devon that he is Dom's father too. And she believes, you know, that because of her own experience of longing to know her own father, that Devon needs to not dismiss his feelings and that he has a right to pursue having a relationship with Dominic. Lily also affirmed that opinion with Devon this week, his feelings of rightful fatherhood. Even though Lily was on the opposite end of a surrogacy arrangement, she still told Devon that she believes he has a right to be with his son. So at this point, everyone around him is telling him that he has a right to be Dominic's father. And so Devon decides to pull the trigger. He decides to hire Amanda as his attorney and get the ball rolling on this baby battle. Let me tell you, this baby battle situation has really gotten into my head. This is the storyline that is just sinking into my brain. This week, I had a dream that I was having to share custody of my daughter with a biological mother, and I did not like it. I was at a park letting my daughter have visitation with this unknown, faceless, blonde woman, and I hated her. I hated this woman. I was trying to figure out how I could make this other mother disappear right off the face of the earth because I did not want to share my child with anyone. And I can only imagine that that's exactly how Abby and Devon both feel on some level. Early in the week, Abby tells Devon that she is not going to be amending their agreement. And especially after having that dream of my own, I realized Abby is doing exactly what is right for her and for her family. On New Year's Eve, Chance opened up to Abby about his feelings of inadequacy when it comes to being a husband and when it comes to being a father. And even though we all knew that as the audience, Abby didn't really know that yet. He really hadn't opened up to her about that yet. So with that in mind, Abby is now completely focused on trying to help Chance bond with the baby, because building her family is her only goal. That's the most important goal. She's actually an example of someone who is putting family first, even though so many people say that. And the thing is, Abby and Chance's position in all of this is so totally understandable, both emotionally and the fact that they have a contract. They had an arrangement with Devon, and now he's going back on it. 100% I feel on Abby and Chance's side. I know that the majority of viewers also feel that way. We did a poll question 2 weeks ago, I want to say, and I asked you guys if you thought that Devon should have shared custody of Dominic, and it was like 78% of you said no, Devon should not have custody. 22% of you voted yes, that Devon should. And I have no doubt that that hasn't changed. If I put a poll here right now and I asked you who should have custody of Dominic, I have no doubt that the majority of the Y&R Chat viewers would want Abby and Chance to keep their baby. So all that's kind of a given. But if Abby and Chance keep the baby and Devon doesn't sue, we have nothing to talk about. Absolutely nothing to talk about. So this week I am tasked with really trying to dig more into Devon's psyche here, because I think the fact that Devon is moving forward with this is much more interesting. I mean, it's the most interesting part of it. There's just so many more layers to peel apart when it comes to Devon's motivation here. And frankly, I think it's actually good to see Devon making a mistake. Devon has been so above reproach for so long. He's the town minister, for crying out loud, the town sperm bank. He married Abby and Chance. He gave them his sperm out of at the time, the kindness of his heart and crotch. And I was kind of just sick of seeing Saint Devon. I mean, I liked it, but at the same time, we could only go so far with Saint Devon. So this, I think, is so much more fun, because I'm in the business of having fun with Y&R. I think it's so much more complex to just sink into Devon's point of view here. And look, Dominic is Devon's biological son. I mean, barring any kind of paternity twist or sperm twist or something, there's just no denying it. Dominic is Devon's son biologically. You can't disregard that completely. You can, make choices around that, but that's a fact. And just like in my dream, Devon is watching another man be a father to what he believes is his son, and he doesn't like it. It's very primal. It's a very basic instinct at play here. Protecting the young, protecting your young. Humans are territorial. They always have been. I mean, I know I gave birth to my daughter, and seeing some other woman be her mother really was, I was not having it. And of course, I'd love to say that, oh yes, I could be so very understanding and just set all my emotions aside and manage that situation perfectly. I'm sure I would have managed the situation perfectly. But then at the same time, I realized there is a very basic primal instinct there, and Devon had a taste of what it would be like to be the primary male figure, if not father, in Dominic's life when the baby was living with him. Devon let himself believe that his relationship with Dominic would be more. And that didn't happen, because now here, Chance pops back up alive and snatches away that one little shred of hope that Devon had. Now, again, I'm not saying that Devon is right. In fact, I think he's wrong. I think that Devon needs to get a hold of himself. I think he needs to move forward, just like Mariah is now. But I can understand the emotions at play. We all have our intellectual intelligence, and then we have emotional intelligence, and sometimes those two things work together, but sometimes they're totally an opposite of each other. We all, of course, strive to make smart intellectual decisions. I'm gonna draw up a contract, and I'm gonna drop off my sperm and then just move on. Hands clean. But then, how many times have any of us slipped into an overly emotional decision-making process and then later looked back and thought, man, I should have thought that through with more of my, my intellectual decision-making. I mean, Devon really didn't need to have an amended contract to spend time with Dominic. Abby was giving that to him plentifully, but the emotional component got the better of him. Like we talked about last week, he just became desperate, and so he was desperately clinging to the only thing he had, which was the black and white contract. He could have had access to Dom, but he became so desperate, he had to get it into writing. And Amanda was right there backing him up the whole way. He got validation from Nate, validation from Lily also. So, I mean, he had not only the emotional support of his family around him, but he had Amanda there the whole time, telling him that he has legal rights and that he can do this. And she's been, I mean, I don't know if I want to say pushing him, but she certainly has been right there offering up her services on a silver platter. And Amanda told him that he absolutely can petition the court for the visitation that Abby and Chance will not give to him willfully. And Amanda also said that she can argue that leaving Dominic with Devon while Abby went to Spain was Abby showing that Devon was the de facto father. And in fact, Chance was never even part of the arrangement. Abby signed the contract without Chance. So there was an implied, that there was some sort of non-contract implication that Devon kind of was the backup father, since Chance wasn't there for the original contract. And Amanda made sure to let us know that, I mean, the original contract is only between Abby and Devon. Chance is basically a legal non-factor. But Chance is not a non-factor. I mean, he kind of is. He kind of feels like a non-factor in his own life sometimes, but he shouldn't be. Did you see the way Chance's face lit up when he and Ray were talking about the case? I mean, I honestly think that's the first genuine-looking smile that Chance has had since he's come home. But then he quickly pulled it back, and he quickly stuffed it down, and he told Abby that he's not going back to work. He saw the look in her eyes, and he just wants to focus on family right alongside her. Well, I mean, okay, but what's wrong with Chance wanting to go to work? Chance needs a sense of purpose. Police and military work are his passion. What's he supposed to do? Stock groceries instead so that the whole family can feel safe? I mean, I'm sure that Chance choosing family over work is about showing Chance as being willing to make that sacrifice for his family, for his son. And I totally get that Abby is worried about him, but it makes me worried about him even more. I mean, I know Abby thought that he was dead, for crying out loud. He promised her that he was done with dangerous work, for crying out loud. But I don't know, I think you gotta love somebody for who they are, and this is who Chance is. So you gotta let him be it, or it'll backfire. My motto is, bring it on. That was our quote from last week. And the answer was Mariah. She was talking to Sharon about the challenges of adoption. And Mariah said, well, it's okay. I hear the challenges, but my motto is bring it on. Sounds like a little bit of foreboding also. But hey, we had some winners who guessed it correctly. It was Daisy, Henry, Tina, Sharon, Deetles, Sherry, Victoria, and Sue W. You guys all guessed that it was Mariah. How about this line? I feel like you probably heard it, but this is just the line that it had to be. It had to be. Here it is. I have to admit, I did not see that plot twist coming. Oh, it's just so meta, I couldn't pass it up. I have to admit, I did not see that plot twist coming. Who said that? If you think you know, go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. Oh, how about some of your comments? See, I know I don't have to spend too much time talking about how right Abby is, because I know that's how the majority of people feel, and I knew that you guys were going to do it for me in the comments. So I felt like it would be a little bit more well-rounded if I tried to put my brain into Devon's spot for the week, but now we're done with that, so let's get to what you guys are really thinking. Diana says, Devon is calling the baby his son, and that is how he is justifying his actions of pursuing a lawsuit for shared custody. He is leaving out the part that he was supposed to be a donor, not a dad. Ooh, a donor, not a dad. Maybe Abby should have a t-shirt printed up for Devon that has that on it. Donor, not a dad. Well, Naomi says, I want to smack Devon. He always wants what he can't have or shouldn't have. Going back to his dad's girlfriend, Hillary, or maybe she was his wife at the time. But Naomi says, Neil was blind at the time. Blind guy, bad enough. Blind guy that's also your dad. There should be no room on the moral high road for Devon. Yeah, that's so true. That was probably one of the worst things Devon has ever done, right? I don't remember if Hillary and Neil were married or just dating at the time. I do think they were married, right? And then Devon started his affair with Hillary. Ooh, it's true. No room on the moral high road for Devon Hamilton. T. Nicole says, just watch out, Devon. Victor Newman will not let anyone hurt his family. Will Devon ask for shared custody or full custody? Abby is still the biological mother. Also, Devon thinking Abby and Chance can't go through anything difficult because it will affect Dominic is ridiculous. Like, Devon's life will not have any conflicts that would affect Dominic. What if Devon and Amanda break up? Maybe that would negatively affect Dominic, because it seems any little thing will at this point. Yeah, that conceit is ridiculous. That the household's just not stable enough. I mean, have you seen the majority of households? There's some pretty bad stuff that actually hurts kids. And anything that I've seen in either Abby or Devon's household, it really wouldn't qualify. But this is a good question. Is Devon going to go for shared custody or full? I think that what he said was visitation. So it might just be that, but who knows? I mean, it could get so ugly that it could spiral out of control into a full-on custody battle that's beyond just wanting to see him a little more. Well, Amanda certainly has been there fueling these flames, hasn't she? Gary says, in my opinion, Amanda's character has certainly taken a hit with her pushing Devon into trying to stake a claim on Dom. What is it in Amanda's own past that's driving her to egg Devon on into doing what we actually see in the writing he knows maybe he shouldn't be pursuing? Devon better grasps the situation of him asking for partial custody than the friends around him do. Devon's friends are not serving him well and are acting out of character to serve the plot. Yeah, and Lily's a good example of that. I feel like Lily should have been a little more hesitant considering she used a surrogate to have her own family, and maybe she could at least remind Devon the spirit with which this all started out. But Superplex about Amanda says, a lawyer advising litigation. What a novel idea. Not. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, if Devon's girlfriend had been Hillary, maybe, or wife, maybe Hillary would have advised him in a different direction. But of course Amanda is going to advise him to pursue legal action. She's a lawyer. Sherrod says, this is Devon's family egging him on, and it started, ironically, with Nate and now Lily. I think Amanda's motivation is that she did not get to know her biological father. Yeah, I think you're right that is Amanda's main motivation, and the fact that Devon has received approval from the people around him that he respects and trusts, I think that really does just feed his decision making from moving forward. But Sherrod says, we know Amanda is allowing her own situation to drive her in misguiding Devon. And why doesn't she offer to bear a child for him? But what gets me is Abby. She felt that it's okay for Devon to want more time with Dominic, just not in writing, but not Mariah. I feel that neither one of them really acknowledged Mariah's true pain, especially Devon. He had little to no compassion for Mariah when the crazy circumstances of her kidnapping changed her feelings toward the baby. Heck, Abby even made the statement to Devon that Mariah would have probably become too attached anyway, even if she wasn't kidnapped. So now, according to Devon, Dominic is my son, but Abby brought this on herself. She ran to Devon for everything while totally weaning Mariah out of Dominic's life, as if the woman did not go through a traumatic experience. Also, when Abby thought that Chance had died, it seemed that she forgot she had a newborn to take care of, and she didn't seem to want parenthood unless it was the way she had envisioned it. To me, that behavior deserves repercussions too. It seems to me that Devon became jealous of Chance being with the baby when he saw them together having a good time at society, and that's what made him go for custody, not being concerned for him. Devon is worse than Mariah because he's calculating things. Mariah realized that she had issues and took action to correct them, and Devon thinks he's better than everyone else. I'm upset with Abby and Devon. It would be so funny and ironic that when they start fighting over the baby, if the courts would give Dominic to Mariah and Tessa to foster. That's a possibility, Sherrod. I could totally see that happening. Well, on a soap. But I really like that you're bringing this full circle back to Mariah because, yeah, everybody acted like Mariah was totally nuts over her over-attachment to Dominic, but then, you know, everybody's sort of rushing to Devon's support to let him know that his attachment is okay. Oh, and also I really like your line about what kind of seeing Devon walking in and seeing Chance with the baby at society, and then we see him go to Amanda to say he wants to pursue legal action. It does totally come off like he was just jealous of seeing that other man with his baby, what he thinks of as his baby. I totally agree. Jealousy is a factor there because, again, my dream. I felt jealousy that this other woman was like playing in the park with my kid. Oh. Well, you know, let's talk about this contract, because Gary was asking about the Chance loophole in the contract that got mentioned, and Gary says, if this were real, would that be a loophole? How much of a loophole is it really? That Chance, so since the contract wasn't with Chance, what does it really matter? Does it give Devon any more favor? Gary also says Ellen must proceed over this case to save baby Dom from the over emotional wants and needs of a villager. That's right. We have our resident attorney, Ellen. Come to weigh in on this contract issue, please, Ellen. But Sherrod steps in and says, yes, actually, it would be a legal loophole. In the real world, the state of Wisconsin, Abby and Chance, would have had to adopt their child to make him legally theirs because they used a surrogate. But these things are not addressed in the make-believe world of Y&R. Oh, okay, so this is good, Sherrod. I'm so glad you said that. I'm going to take it for truth. I'm just assuming. So, like, if you had... So, like, let's say I had a baby and then I married. Like, if I had a biological baby that I had and then I married, the adoption might be considered right away, like it would be de facto, I guess. But then because it was a surrogacy, Abby and Chance would have had to adopt their child to make the baby legally theirs, including Chance. But yeah, I mean, I think Sherrod's right, and I think it is a real loophole here, for real. If the agreement is only with Devon and Abby, then you can just take Chance totally out of the picture. At this point, all he is Abby's husband, and that's not an issue that pertains to the contract. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so that's interesting. I think you're right. I think that that's just the writer's way of just kind of whatever the issue is, it's got nothing to do with Chance as a father. You might as well consider that Dom doesn't have a father. Oh, yeah, that might be it. I think they're going to use that as the main loophole here. Ooh, that's going to really hurt Chance. I really feel for Chance in all of this too, because he's trying. We see him trying. We see him making the decisions that are also best for his family and his son. And it's not fair to just dismiss Chance's role of fatherhood either. I mean, Chance is there every morning when the baby wakes up. He's there when the baby goes to sleep. I mean, they're living as a family. This is the family that they've chosen. And not only that, but I mean, because there was a contract and there was the surrogacy, like this was their plan, whether Chance was actually there to sign the papers or not. So, I mean, even though, yeah, he's not a factor in black and white, he's an emotional factor that shouldn't be dismissed. Oh, gosh. Well, Victoria says Abby is holding on so tight right now to Chance and Dominic. It's as if she's putting them in a box to be guarded. Abby has a job at society, which helps to fulfill her. Her pressure on Chance to concentrate on bonding with Dominic is not helpful. Abby needs to give Chance the space to develop his own relationships and find things that are meaningful to him. If she doesn't back off, she may lose Chance just when she needs him the most. Gosh, I agree so much, Victoria. The second I saw that Chance was making some moves toward maybe joining the police force again, maybe pursuing something that actually makes him happy, I was happy for him. And then the fact that he turned around the very next episode and just washed all of that away, stuffed it all back down in the box, like you say, and then told Abby, no, I'm all in on the family. I thought that was really unfair to Chance. I just think it's trying to serve a storyline purpose is why. Yeah, I think Abby is being she's clinging to Chance in the same way that Devon is clinging to his contract and his biology, his biological connection. Well, Sue W. says Melissa Ordway is so adorable with baby Dom. Clearly, she adores babies, and it shows in how she relates with them on screen. I know she's a mother in real life, and that translates sweetly and naturally on screen. Melissa Ordway is a great actress who I think has been underrated, probably due to the airhead nature of her character. I'm surprised her story has gone past superficial spoiled Abby, and I'm really glad to get to see her get some depth and to showcase her skill. I'm a fan. Oh, yeah, Sue W., she is so good with that baby. I noticed that, too. And she just takes it all in stride because babies are unpredictable. They're trying to film a scene, and that baby starts crying, and she just rolls with it. Yeah, she's very sweet with the bread loaf. And also, yeah, I think this is a good time to say that she has really come into this role. Melissa Ordway has really come into this role. And I think you're right that some of the fans' negative reaction to her at first, myself included, probably did have to do with the airhead quality of the character. But also, like, I think she talks kind of, even just the way she speaks is kind of airheady. And I'm guilty of that too. I know that I'm not a not smart person, but sometimes the way I talk is a little ditzy or a little, I don't know, I always say, oh my gosh, or that I imagine it comes off as gidgety or something. But yeah, I think, and I like knew this girl one time who talked kind of like a valley girl, and I dismissed her. I remember dismissing her at first because of the way she talked, and I got to know her a lot better over the course of time and realized, oh, she's a really nice person and she's a really smart person. She just talks like this. It's funny how those impressions of someone can affect how you feel about them, or reading a book by its cover. We're all kind of guilty of it on some level, and I'm glad that we've really been able to dig more into Abby's character and get past the cover. Sue W. is also spreading some Faith love here, saying Faith 2.0 is great. The actress seems real and capable of handling whatever's thrown at her. Moses, super cute, but needs some realistic dialogue/presentation. It's 2022. Teens don't court the object of their affection. It's a dreamy portrayal, but come on. Modern high school life is a constant swirl of emotion. Realistically, let's see angst, unpredictability, and repeated questionable choices. Kids pretending to be adults as they learn to define themselves. I hope we get some more normal juvenile upheaval for these young and crazy kids, all the while, of course, the Genoa City adults remain chill and copacetic. Yeah, a more realistic portrayal of Moses and Faith would be much welcomed by me. I don't know why Y&R really went to the trouble of recasting Faith, giving us this Moses, and they haven't done a whole lot with them, honestly. But maybe that's to come in 2022. Oh, Sharad says, I am sorry that Peter Bergman had to have eye surgery, which is why Jack has not been on the canvas. But I'm so thrilled that Beth Maitland got the call to take over the storyline in his absence. Tracy is the best. I really wanted the show to connect Tracy and Tessa, since Tessa kind of reminded me of Colleen a little. And both Tracy and Tessa are singers. Tracy should have a daughter and Tessa needs a mother. Oh my gosh, Sharad, that's a really good idea. But oh, you're the first person to mention Jack's absence in all of this. And when I saw that Billy was having the conversation with Tracy at the apartment to call and reassure her that everything's fine, and then he was just making a phone call to Jack, I thought, well, what's up with that? Then I went online, I got my Y&R news that I should have gotten sooner, and saw that Peter Bergman had a detached retina. Same thing that happened to Michelle Morgan couple, I don't know, months ago when she was out unexpectedly, and we had to have a recast of that role. So, wow, it's weird that would happen to two Y&R stars within the same year. And also, I'm just really sorry to hear that that's what happened to him. I think Y&R did a good job of bringing in Tracy to fill the space in Billy's storyline, and I think they did a nice, cute little scene for Phyllis and Amanda on Friday to also try to fill the gap between what was getting ready to start with Phyllis and Jack and the fact that the actor is now gone. So Y&R did a really great job. Gosh, they were getting ready to build that up. I really feel like Phyllis was getting ready to get back together with Jack right at the new year, and then this happened, and there's nothing they can really do about it. I mean, you're not going to probably recast a Jack for the Phyllis and Jack reunion that's been so long awaited, so we just have to send Jack away on a business trip and give Phyllis some things to do to fill her time. Gosh, she looks good in that chartreuse silk blouse. I thought it was a cute little aside that she got handed a lawsuit over a Grand Phoenix Escape Club member who was unhappy with their fantasy experience, and then Phyllis and Amanda read the script that were provided to them. That's all very weird, but it was a little bit of a fun aside. Jamie says, okay, can we please let Becky be a total nut and cause a ruckus in Genoa City? Also, when my girl Phyllis said she understands how it feels to be so angry that you just need to hit someone with your car, I almost spit my coffee out. I love her, and I love her self-awareness of how crazy and crappy she used to be. Makes her reformed baddie status more endearing, to me at least. Oh, the Y&R viewers loved that line. Heads exploded nationwide when she said that she felt sometimes, she knows how it feels to be so angry over a lost love that you just want to hit somebody with your car. That was so good. I feel like they started with that and then worked the rest of the script around it because they knew they wanted to make that joke, and it was a good one. Michelle says, Friday's episode synopsis. Billy with his shirt off. Yay! Billy making Tracy cry. Boo! Leslie says, I don't know who you are over there at Y&R that loves to see Billy in jeans, but I do too, so thank you. Yeah, we had Lily in jeans last week, Billy in jeans this week, and I gotta say, they look good and Billy look good. They both look equally good in their jeans. Oh, but Zuperplex says, was that faithful last words from Billy? Yeah, he went off to Chicago and everything seemed so great between them. Meanwhile, Adam's brooding and sending that text message to Lily. Sherrod says she thinks it's something like that things are about to get dark and heavy in the world of Y&R. Gary says, now that Billy has found inner peace, will his plane go down in Chicago with Burgess Jenkins soon to return to that role? I kind of thought the same thing, that I thought to myself, is Adam going to do some kind of mental magic to make Billy's plane come down? The plane crash thing totally occurred to me too, because I think, who was it? I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was that predicted for 2021 that Billy would go down in a plane crash, and then his bandages would be revealed as Billy Miller. So that's maybe just in our psyche from talking about it last week, but it sure was ominous. But Diana says, yeah, I am very happy that Billy is coming out on top and not the loser. I had commented last week that I was hoping Jack's lecture was not foreshadowing Billy's upcoming downfall. Instead, Jack's words and Tracy's thoughts on Billy's plan seemingly had a good influence on Billy's decision to drop the act. I especially think Tracy's opinion helped to sway Billy's decision, and I would go as far as to saying Sally's silly disguise helped spark Billy's epiphany. He took one look at her and realized he didn't want to be part of this ridiculousness in the charade anymore. Side note, I'm not sure why Billy only pulled off Sally's hat and not her wig. It was a little odd. It was as though Billy didn't want to embarrass Sally any more than he felt was necessary. Yeah, it was a trick, wasn't it? He had to get the hat off without the wig coming off. And Victoria says, LOL, Billy called Sally 00 nothing. Yeah, I'm glad. I thought that was funny, and I'm glad it's over. Victoria also says, what a missed opportunity, though, between Billy and Adam. Why not have the improbable happen and have Billy and Adam team up to take on Newman Locke from Victoria? It was a great scene between Billy and Adam until Billy went over Adam's sins again. Adam was the bigger man and let Billy vent. I feel the same way. I really thought, oh, Billy's revealing himself to Adam. Maybe they can now team up against Victoria. It's much less predictable to see Adam and Billy working together than to just keep circling around in the same old blah rivalry. And even if it's not Billy who's forcing the action forward, is it really just going to become Adam now? Is Adam going to be consumed with some kind of revenge? I mean, even Chelsea said this week something about blah 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 Adam and Billy's feud. Well, it really kind of isn't even. It's mostly been Billy working through his resentment toward Adam over and over and over and over and over. But what has Adam really done to try to get revenge on Billy? I mean, I guess the chance comp thing, yeah, but again, that was Victor. It was Victor's plan. Adam's just doing what is trying to please his father. I have never felt like Adam had some kind of specific vendetta that he needed to enact against Billy. I think Adam has always kind of felt guilty when it comes to Billy, and that's why he chooses to be the bigger man. He just takes the slings and arrows because he knows that as much as Billy slings the arrows, that's just as much as he hurts from what happened to his daughter. I don't know. So I hope we're not just going in a direction of Adam picking up where Billy left off. Sue W. says, I've recently been noticing Adam is displaying many of Victor's mannerisms. The folded arms, per usual, the amused sizing up of those beneath him, the pandering acknowledgments, the decidedly reactive non-reactions, etc. But Adam has yet to master Victor's non-flinching steel gaze. I wonder if these are deliberate choices made by Mark Grossman to show Adam's naturally molding into a chip off the old block, or if these things have just been assimilated through working so closely with Eric Braeden. Either way, I think they're great nuances for Adam's character that make him all the more believable as Victor's son, a son who relishes his good relationship with his father. Yes, again, the thing with Chance Com was more about Adam, I think, relishing the good relationship with his father, wanting to do what his father... Adam wants Victor's approval. And yes, you're totally right. And I think Adam wanting Victor's approval informs more of his actions than anything else. And I think you're also right that Mark Grossman is seeming more like Victor Newman every day. I mean, he's really become quite a good cast as Victor Newman Jr. Ellen says, come on, Adam, don't let Billy Boy damage your self-esteem. He's a loser. You are rebuilding your life after Chelsea lost her mind over a kiss. You will land on your feet. Better days are coming. Please don't go dark on us. Been there, done that. I know, but I think that's exactly what's happening. I really do. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason that Adam should be taking Billy's words, which he's heard a million times before, so personally and so to heart and formulating some kind of plan around them. I mean, Adam's got enough going on. He doesn't need this. And I just almost wonder if they're even chopping the Sally part of his story off, because he really has pushed Sally away. It's not happening. If it didn't happen during their date, it's certainly not going to happen now. And now he's all mad at her for doing what he asked her to do, taking the photos of Billy. And I just wonder if now all that's gone and they're just going to try to move Adam into the role that Billy just occupied. And if that's the case, blah. Well, Daisy says Tracy is the voice of reason, but she should have said something to Adam about Billy's plan. In saying nothing, she became part of the problem. Oh, that's so good, Daisy. Yeah, I know. She probably should have said something to Adam, but then where would their relationship have to go? We have to start Tracy and Adam off with a little bit of a secret. Then we bring on the burning romance. Then we have to have Tracy feel conflicted and want to tell Adam the secret, but not want to ruin the relationship. Sorry, this is all working around the Tracy and Adam story in my mind. And I'm just trying to make everything else fit into that. Ellen asks, does Newman Media have an HR department? In the real world, Chloe and soon Chelsea would be in deep trouble for harassing Sally about her personal life. But Sally doesn't use conventional methods to solve problems. Should be interesting. I feel like Sally just kind of backed away, didn't she? She just kind of cowered to it all. And no, I'm sure they don't have an HR department. You know, I remember in the last corporate job I had, there was a policy. This is why I can't wait to see your thoughts about this poll this week. But there was a policy that if you were involved with anyone in the office, you had to disclose it. Because if they found out that you were doing the naughty with one of your coworkers or a boss or whatever, then they would blah, 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 blah. But I think what they really wanted to do was document it. That they knew about it and that the employees were warned. And therefore, if anything goes down, like like a sexual harassment, they're not liable. Because, yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I'm sure that's what companies are worried about when it comes to inter-office dating. They don't want to have to be involved in like a sexual harassment lawsuit, or, you know, if things go bad, they're not wanting to take any responsibility for it or be involved in it whatsoever. But yeah, this is going to be a good pull. So something different for the week. Sherrod says, I'm usually a fan of Chloe, but how she spoke to Sally? I think someone should find an SUV and run her down. I know she's Chelsea's friend, but hello, she's the problem. If things were fine before she got back, Sally is a grown woman. She can date whoever she wants. Who does Chloe think she is? Sally's the one who got the attention for the fashion platform. Sally should go out on her own. Or as much as I don't care for how she treated Billy, go work for Victoria. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Sally's got to get out of there, right? It's not a healthy environment. There's got to be somewhere else she could work. Somewhere else she could do some fashions. Why not go out on her own, Shrod? I like that idea. She can build Spectra Fashions and just be her kooky self with all of this nasty, like, mean girlness around her. Superplex says, Adam needs to establish some protocols with Chloe. He is her employer, not the other way around. Yeah, I know. See, again, I feel like Adam is just always operating in the deficit when it comes to either Billy or Chloe. He knows what he did. He's never going to stop feeling guilty about it. I think he feels like it's his personal penance to just take whatever they throw at him, which is why I don't think that Adam has ever been trying to come after Billy. He's never been trying to come after Chloe. So I feel like that's why Adam stands there and takes Chloe's yapping. He feels it's his eternal penance for what happened with Delia. Oh, I guess this should come as no surprise. Last week I asked you guys, do you want Adam and Sally? Or do you want Adam and Chelsea? 75% of you pick Sally. 25% of you pick Chelsea. And it doesn't seem like we're really getting either one of those. I mean, I could be wrong, but the Sally thing felt final this week. Astra voted Adam and Sally, saying, I was a previous Adam and Chelsea loyalist with Michael Mooney's Adam and Justin Hartley's Adam. But I never fully got into this version of Adam and Chelsea. Plus, too much has happened for them to be back together this soon. I don't like that Chelsea is still hung on Adam. I want her to move on, and for him to move on with Sally for the time being. Oh yeah, I totally feel that. The Adam and Chelsea that was Michael Mooney or Justin Hartley, yes. But this Mark Grossman and Chelsea pairing, it hasn't been built. The writers never took the time to really build these two actors and their chemistry. It was more just like, oh, these characters are supposed to be loves of lives, so we'll just throw them back together and assume it would work. And it doesn't work like that. I think you do have to build up the chemistry between the actors, and you have to let the viewer see it and feel it. You just can't, it's not like you can't know it intellectually. You have to sort of feel the two characters together emotionally in order to get into them. And I think you're right. I think I haven't put that together before, but I think you're right. I just never have felt the Mark Grossman and Melissa Claire Egan pairing. Good one, Astra. Here's Ambrini saying, I don't like when they just recycle couples more than once or twice. Last time around, Chelsea and Adam were boring. I can count on one hand the number of times they acted like a couple in love. Yes. I've been watching the Christmas episodes, and Mark Grossman is so quirky and charming. I feel like he has great chemistry with the Sally character. I love the flirting, and he looks so much more handsome in a suit like he wears every day now. You don't know who you could be sending those anonymous... You don't know who could be sending those anonymous videos, do you? Wow. What? Was that you attempting to snag an invitation to deck the halls? This new Adam still hasn't had a love storyline. It's been almost 3 years now. I'm liking Adam, though, now. Don't mess this up, Y&R. Yeah, it's been 3 years, right? Don't mess this up, Y&R. I think it's too late. I feel like we're getting ready to mess it up. Oh. Well, Daisy says, I'd like to see Chelsea get back with Adam at some point. But she shouldn't make herself seem desperate. Maybe she should start dating. She can meet other people and see if she does want to move on or try to get back with Adam. If Chelsea wanted to really turn heads, though, she would start seeing Billy once Lily breaks up with him. And Billy might just want to get back at Victoria for siding with a lying thief rather than them, the father of her children. And what better way to do that than by dating the biological mother of their son? Drama. Ooh, so you would like to see Chelsea and Adam at some point. I like that you say that. Chelsea and Adam at some point, but she shouldn't make herself desperate over it. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's what's turning me off of it too right now. She's making herself desperate over it. It's not, I mean, that's not attractive on her. But I like also your idea that Billy would want to get with Chelsea because Chelsea is Johnny's biological mother, right? Well, or Chelsea could just date Noah. TB84 says, I don't know why, but what about, it's just an idea, what about Chelsea and Noah pairing? I know it sounds absurd even more because Chelsea was with his dad, but what if? I think it's a possible option for Chelsea and for Noah too. Sharon would not be pleased. There were rumors in the past year that he might be paired with Sally and compete with Adam for her feelings or something, so I don't know. Definitely Noah's focused on Tessa right now, and that idea doesn't seem real. Still, it would be a nice twist, just saying. Yeah, I could totally see the writers pulling the plug on the Noah-Tessa thing and moving him over to dating Chelsea. It just seems like, Nick offered him the job. Didn't Nick offer him a job this week? And I don't know, maybe he'll take it, maybe he won't. I think no. I mean, he's working at a couple places right now. He's working with Devon, he's working with Newman Media, he's doing the side projects. But I think no matter what, he's going to be walking around Newman Media. That's where the drama is. Plus, the whole company is just Adam and the three girls. They have to get a guy in there. And yeah, I could definitely see, this could be it. Maybe it becomes a Chelsea, Noah, Sally story, and then they just move Adam off into dark direction because he's not allowed to have any kisses, any love stories, and any sex scenes. Y&R's just going to dress Adam in a black trench coat, maybe put some black eyeliner and black lipstick on him and just send him to Vampireville for the rest of 2022. I think that's the plan. And I don't like it. But let's talk about what your predictions for 2022 are. I had a few, and so I'm just going to pluck a couple out, see what you guys are saying. And don't forget, there's still one more week for you to get in your predictions, too. Let's start with Tina Cole, who predicts that Devon will go into a custody battle for Dominic, and even though Amanda is at first on his side, it will get out of hand and break them up. Devon will get back with Elena as she and Nate will have struggles living together with their jobs and Imani butting in. Imani will get Nate drunk and sleep with him or make it look like they slept together. Ooh, I know Imani's going to be so fun. But I think we did have that moment between Devon and Elena the other week, maybe 2 weeks ago. So you could be right. This custody thing could break up Devon and Amanda, send Devon to Elena, and send Nate to Imani. Diana predicts that Nate will go to Amanda and Imani's firm because he wants to take legal action on the hospital as he feels he's being slandered regarding his relationship with Elena or some other office politics. Imani asked to see Nate at the office regarding his case late one night, and the temptation is too much for Nate. He has a one-night stand with Imani, and she becomes pregnant. Yeah, maybe it is going to go in a legal direction. Maybe Nate will need Imani's legal services, plus more. Oh, two predictions from Sue W. here, who says, Chance's issues and Devon's involvement will lead to Abby and Devon becoming romantically involved and forming a family to raise Dominic together. That's possible. It does kind of seem like Abby and Chance's relationship, I don't know, it feels shaky somehow. And like everybody's struggling to hold on to it so hard that it might just pop. And Abby and Devon might end up bonding coming out of all of this. Who knows? But Sue W. also predicts that Sally will rightfully grow tired of Adam holding her at arm's length and fall into a friends with benefits relationship with a horny Nick. Horny Nick. I'm not haven't even seen or used that word in I don't know how long. So for some reason, that's hilarious to me. But I think you're right. Sally will rightfully grow tired of Adam holding her at arm's length. Yeah, I mean, if I were Sally, I'd give up. I would. If he's told her before he's not ready, I would let him come to me. And in the meantime, we've been saying for a little while that Sally and Nick would be an interesting pairing. I think that's possible. Or Sally and Noah. Yeah, who knows? Tina Cole also predicts that Adam and Sally will fall in love and get married, or at least engaged by the end of the year. Chelsea will try hard to break them up, especially after seeing in person how much Connor gets along with Sally. But Chelsea will not succeed. Chelsea will find a friendship with Sharon, but also becoming closer in Ray's orbit, and they will end up having an affair. This will inevitably cause Sharon to end up with Nick. We are all predicting Sharon and Nick, aren't we? I can't wait to open these back up at the end of 22 and find out whether or not Nick and Sharon actually did have their reunion. Ellen predicts that Sharon's jealousy over Adam's romance with Sally will break up her marriage to Ray, and Sally will design for Tessa, which will create a bond between those two. The Sharon and Adam thing was so big last year at this time, and it has just slowly fizzled away. Maybe this is Y&R's way of moving Adam out of the triangle they just started, and who knows, maybe they will move him back into a Sharon direction. That is entirely possible too. Well, Lara predicts that Chelsea and Sally will collaborate on a line of fashion turbans. Oh, you mean like Golden Glow? Who we're going to see next week? Well, you know I'm dying for this episode on Monday. It's Christian LeBlanc's 30-year anniversary with Y&R, and we got that wonderful little preview where Michael is announcing that he is considering retirement, the sweet life of retirement. And he's there with Kevin and Chloe and Gloria to talk it all through. I think this is going to be a great episode. I saw an article where Christian is saying that he had a hand in picking the specific scenes that we'll be seeing, and there was some really emotionally gut-wrenching stuff. I think Monday's going to be so good. Make sure you go to the yrchat.com after Monday's episode and talk about Michael. Let's give Michael some love this upcoming week. 30 years, if you can even believe it. Well, Sherry says in 2022, I predict that Hurricane Noah is not interested in Tessa romantically like everyone thinks he is, and instead is out to try to wreak havoc on Tessa and Mariah for doing him wrong, which he will fail miserably, causing Mariah to progress even further in their relationship with an engagement, a wedding, and a baby, which will then turn, Noah will find himself on the path to an Adam Sally or Chelsea Ray triangle because he can't help being attracted to the Bad Girls Club. Nothing like getting with Daddy Nick and Uncle Adam's leftovers. I mean, it runs in the family. Sherry, I like that. Sherry, I like that. Oh gosh, and I think we talked about that a little bit last week too, that Noah's goal for Tessa might not be romantic, that he might be seeking revenge. But, you know, I'll have to second this prediction, and I need to write this down too, because I really think this is the year of Tessa and Mariah. I absolutely think we're going to get a wedding. I think we're going to get a baby. I just do. I don't know. I just feel like we're getting all of these signs that the writers are really appreciating Tessa. I think that the fans must be responding very positively to her. The fact that they pulled Mariah out of the Dominic storyline and seem to be giving her new life, new focus, I think that is a little bit of a signal that they're going to put some positive focus on Mariah and Tessa in 2022. And I agree. I think wedding, baby. Absolutely. Samuel predicts that Stitch will return to Genoa City in an effort to redeem himself. It'll turn out that he was mentally ill and needed help, and that also causes Mariah to spiral. Oh, you think Stitch is going to come back and that's going to trigger Mariah? That could be. I don't know. You know, they just never resolved it. I mean, are they ever going to resolve Stitch? I just don't. Part of me thinks no. Well, Sherry also says, I would love for Sharon to get a therapy office set equipped with a comfy couch for not only regularly scheduled sessions, but also for the infamous couch sex that the residents of Genoa City desperately need more of. Bring back the love in the afternoon. Oh, gosh, I love that, Sherry. A office set for Sharon. I mean, that would be so good for exposition. She brings in clients, lets them talk. We could get their their innermost thoughts that sometimes we're just guessing. Oh, gosh, that would be so good. And then just bring back the love in the afternoon. Yes, I want love, love, love. I want some beds. Maybe some rose petals. Let's just amp it up. Let's embrace the fact that it's a soap opera. It's supposed to be maybe even over the top cheesy romantic. I want some over the top romance. I want some grand lavish gestures. They need to. I mean, February's coming up. They better have some Valentine's Day stuff planned. I want romance, damn it. This is a soap opera. If we are not having desk sex or bed sex or couch sex, then what are we doing here? Sharita predicts that Victoria and Ashland will succeed in snaking both Chancecom and Newman Media for Newman Locke. They will stay in love, but Ashland will continue telling half-truths and full lies to Victoria as he plots to be the only CEO of their conglomerate. He will compartmentalize their love/marriage from the business merger, possibly trying to sideline Victoria with the idea of creating a family together, all while doing the secret business dealings behind her back that aren't necessarily the most ethical to get people. Yeah, something's got to happen there too. Who would have predicted in 2021 that Victoria would have had a Newman and a marriage? But yeah, that's where we are, and I think we're all also just kind of waiting for it to blow up. It's interesting that you think Victoria is going to succeed in getting Chancecom and Newman Media for Newman Locke. Next week, she is making Victor an offer to buy Newman Media. Maybe that will happen. I think, honestly, there's a lot more drama to be had if we combine these companies. Maybe that's what getting rid of Chancecom was really about. Maybe Y&R realized that they need to just merge all of this and let these people interact more, because as it is, Newman Media is so small. It's only 3 employees. That's not very exciting. And then the drama that is there is just overbearing, Chloe. So maybe there's just more juicy drama if there's one company and we just let everybody interact more. Well, Marianne V predicts that Nikki will have a flare-up of her MS and that Victor will continue to hate Billy, especially when Billy succeeds in bringing down Adam. Oh, yeah. I mean, wasn't there a moment where somebody asked Nikki around Christmas how she was doing? So I could see that happening for Nikki, and that Victor's going to continue to hate Billy. Well, you can pretty much bet on that. Sherry says, apologies if this has been discussed before or if it's not relevant, but has anyone else read Eric Braden's book, I'll Be Damned? He is such a fascinating person and so compassionate and empathetic. His work ethic is incredible, plus he dishes on some of the other Young and the Restless stars. Oh, yes, Sherry, I have read his book, and I have it right here behind me. I wonder if you got it as a Christmas present. I wonder if there were Y&R fans who got Y&R Christmas presents this year and are kind of digging into some of those materials. Why doesn't Y&R do a calendar? Sorry, I just that's a tangent, but we need a Y&R calendar. I would have bought that. But yeah, that Eric Braden book is great. It's worth reading and reading again. Well, speaking of sofa sex, Victoria says there is a fabulous business opportunity in Genoa City. Billy could be the CEO of a new cleaning company which specializes in sofas. There has been so much sofa sex recently that business would be booming. Soon Adam and Sally will have Billy's number on speed dial, thus enticing Adam to restore Billy's reputation so that Newman Media can refresh their sofa. And Elizabeth says that Billy could name the business Sofa King Clean. That's so funny. Oh my goodness. All this sofa sex. Now that we've pinpointed it, it's hard to not see it. But Billy and Lily seem to be moving it to the floor lately. They've been having a little bit more floor sex recently. So that could really cut in on Billy's sofa king clean business. Although, for a side business, cleaning floors is a whole lot easier. Well, there you have it, Y&R fans. A whole nother exciting week of Y&R and a whole year of predictions. Go to yrchat.com, get your comments in about the week, and get your predictions in for the year. I'm only going to leave that prediction thread up until next, Saturday early morning. So get them in before Friday night. Then we'll seal it up and we'll open up the vault at the end of 2022, see what came true, see what did not come true. I also want to say happy birthday to Tony. Tony's birthday is this upcoming Saturday, January 15th. I love you, Tony. I haven't heard from you in so long. I would love to get your predictions for 2022. I know you're a busy lady, but I'm so happy to be able to say happy birthday to you. I love you so much. I love all you guys so much. Oh my goodness. It sure is going to be a good year. I feel it. I feel it. And I'll just leave you with the image of Adam wearing his black trench coat with black lipstick and black eyeliner for the banner header for 2022. Oh, all right, everybody. I'm going to get going, but I hope you have a really good week, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.